and you get done what you wanted to?
Yeah, we got, we've got to balance everything that we're doing right now. We're playing a lot of games with a lot of travel, so we'll get as much crisp work in as we can and try and get it to improve. But today wasn't the only day. We spent a lot of time lately on the power play, hours on end really, and I do believe we're getting better. I think we've seen some results. We had some real good scoring opportunities yesterday, and then we just had some really poor puck decisions and poor passing. And that's a little bit surprising for me when you can put that type of talent on the ice. They seem to be forcing things. So we'll clean it up and we'll get better.
Those kinds of, for all the hard work that they put in, those simple decisions can undo a lot of hard work quickly.
Well, and one can destroy five. And, when you're on a power play, if one's making the bad decisions or one is making poor reads, it affects everybody else and it affects the mindset of the power play. And now last night it was one at a time. It wasn't just one individual. They were taking turns making poor reads. So, but continuing to try and work it to get them to understand why certain things happen on the power play is important, and we'll continue to do that.
Are you a little perplexed when you look at the power play versus St. Louis, for example, or is it clear the difference from, let's say, that game to last night?
Well, I think your play matches that. Your opponent, your play. Some days you feel good. Some days you're not sharp. You're sluggish. Timing, ice conditions, they all come into play. 5-on-5, power play, any type of situation. And so you can't just bottle one game up of 4 or 5 power play goals and think it's going to happen every night. You get the reward, you take a deep breath, and you let your guard down a little bit. And perhaps we've done that again too. So let's keep working at it. Let's keep developing and growing and finding ways to succeed with it. If we could pump it up 2% and get it to that 19 and a half, I think we would be pleased. But we'll probably run out of time this year. But it's certainly a number that we've got to shoot for as we go forward.
A little curious just about how you're handling the next couple of weeks. This stretch of playing every second day will end in a week, and then you have 3 games in 13 days to end the season. So how does that just affect the planning and practice schedule and all that stuff?
Well, this week will be tough for our team with at the back end of I think 19 games in so many days. It's as tough a segment as I've gone through as a coach in the National League, and we've got to manage our time and energy. Thus, the 10 or 12 minutes of power play time today in practice. And once we get through that game against Anaheim, we'll give the players some rest time, and then we'll come back and approach the last, I think it's 12 days of the season in training camp mode, basically making sure that we touch upon all areas of our game, maybe preparing our team more, and just working on our game, less about the opponent at that time, and try and polish everything up so that everybody understands everything heading into the summer.
Where are you at with player evaluations heading into the summer? Have you guys seen kind of all you need to see getting a clear picture?
I don't think we've seen all we need to see. 7 games left. I think it starts with the character reveal, really, when it comes down to it. We're well aware that we're not going to be in the playoffs, and when that happens, some guys continue to grow their game and really give you and the team everything they have, and then other guys may choose to take shortcuts, and we're watching for that. You can't pick and choose when you play in this league, and you can't have success with a segment of players that are cheating. So we'll look for that, and I think it'll reveal character issues as we move forward.
Todd, do you learn more as a coach about a player in this stretch of games where, like you say, the playoffs are out of reach and you're evaluating, or do you learn more about guys maybe back when you guys were in the hunt and you were needing the best from everybody, and in those you were within striking distance of that?
I think it's twofold. I would prefer the in the hunt part, because that's where we plan to get to over time, and once we're in the hunt, then we got to get through the hunt, then we got to win a series. There's so many segments of graduation, if you will, that we have to still experience. Unfortunately, we're experiencing being out and looking at how players respond in a negative situation, but that's all we have to evaluate.
Good maintenance for Maroon today?
Yeah, he's not feeling good, so he will I don't think he'll be ready to play tomorrow in Phoenix, so probably San Jose.